Hello there, welcome to my views and news. Two news stories. Firstly, Eritrea. Sudanese military chief, head of Sudan Sovereignty Council, Abdul Fattah al Burhan, landed in Asmara this morning. Why is al Burhan visiting Eritrea? Is Eritrea turning out to be one of the key players in Sudanese civil war? What is the objective of this visit of Al Burhan? Secondly, Somalia views, where we're seeing a head-on collision between Jubaland, a regional state, and the federal government of Somalia. Election was held in Jubaland on Monday, indirect election. Madobe got another term, but now federal government is rejecting the election. Federal government has issued arrest warrants of Ahmed Madobe, the new regional president of Jubaland. Let's start from Eritrea, viewers. Abdul Fattah al-Burhan is heading one group in Sudanese civil war. The war is between RSF, Rapid Support Forces, led by Hamdan Dagalo, and Sudanese military, backed by Sudan military, led by Abdul Fattah al-Burhan. Al-Burhan is military chief, head of Sudan Sovereignty Council too. Al-Burhan has been visiting neighboring countries since he managed to escape from encirclement in Khartoum. Last year, Burhan was under siege. He was trapped, but somehow he managed to escape Khartoum, and then he managed to shift government headquarters from Khartoum to Port Sudan. He's been visiting neighboring countries, and he's visited Eritrea several times in the start of Sudanese civil war. Eritrea is definitely supporting al-Burhan's military, though if you remember, Eritrea expelled Sudanese ambassador a few months ago. It accused Sudanese ambassador of collecting information illegally about the operations, about the activities at Sawa military camp. Sudan did not respond. Why? Because al-Burhan needs Isas Afwerki's support. Al-Burhan, the military chief, landed in Asmara today. He's accompanied by the head of intelligence, Lieutenant General Muhammad Ibrahim. Minister of Culture and Information is also accompanying him. Isas Afwerki himself welcomed Al-Burhan at Asmara airport. Why is Al-Burhan visiting Eritrea? What is the agenda? Well, firstly, we know that Eritrea trained forces have been deployed in Sudanese civil war. Eritrea obviously does not confirm that officially, but everyone knows that Eritrea trained some Sudanese armed groups. And the Sudanese armed groups were deployed to eastern Sudan, which shares border with Eritrea. Eritrea mainly wants to protect eastern Sudan from any advance by RSF into eastern Sudan. Eastern Sudan is relatively stable from Sinnar to from Ethiopian border as well. RSF fighters have been pushed back. So now RSF is not close to both Eritrean and Ethiopian borders. Sudanese military seems to be on the offensive, though it was under pressure. Last year it seemed as if military was about to collapse. But military received immense support from countries like Iran, Egypt, Eritrea as well. That is how Al-Burhan survived. Now Al-Burhan is on the offensive. RSF supported by UAE are definitely losing ground, but it's a war ongoing, and there isn't going to be a final winner or loser in this war. RSF still very strong in Darfur. They're trying to make a move towards Al-Fashir. Let's see. I think that Al-Burhan wants more Eritrean military support for his operations against RSF. He wants deployment of Eritrea trained forces, not just in eastern Sudan, but in other parts of Sudan to against rapid support forces. And some Sudanese armed groups, allies of Al Burhan, have developed differences with Al Burhan, and Eritrea has influence over those groups. So Al Burhan wants Eritrea to ask those groups to support the Sudanese military. I think Burhan he intends to make some moves in Western Sudan, Darfur, which is the stronghold of RSF, and for that, Burhan wants Eritrean support too. Eritrea has managed to support Burhan in the clearance of Eastern Sudan, though RSF was never in control of large territories in Eastern Sudan. But I think Burhan wants Eritrean support in Darfur now. Let's see probably in coming videos about this visit by Al Burhan. Secondly, this is Somalia, where a conflict, a conflict potential of turning into a civil war is unfolding. Know that Jubaland held indirect regional election on Monday. Ahmed Madobe, in power for around 10 years, over 10 years, got another term of 5 years. The regional indirect election was rejected. It was opposed by the federal government of Somalia. Well, government tried to stop the holding of the election. It tried to send its forces, paramilitary forces, to Jubaland, but Ethiopian troops did not allow any interference to disrupt indirect election in Jubaland. So it is basically Ethiopia which helped Ahmed Madobe in getting another term. But federal government of Somalia is adamant that it wants to remove Madobe. After Madobe was elected yesterday through indirect vote, federal cabinet met under Prime Minister Hamza Bare yesterday. The cabinet unanimously rejected the election held in Jubaland. And reportedly, cabinet approved the issuance of arrest warrants of Ahmed Madobe. The federal government wants to arrest Jubaland regional president Ahmed Madobe. Jubaland has cut off ties with federal government. It has no working relations with federal government. Puntland has cut off ties with federal government as well. It means that if arrest warrant has been issued, it means that now, well, government will deploy, it will appoint police officials, security forces to go to Kismayo and arrest Madobe. And secondly, it means that now Madobe cannot visit Mogadishu. He is wanted. So it means there will be no coordination between federal government and Madobe government unless and until the arrest warrants are withdrawn. Does federal government have the capability to move to Kismayo to arrest Madobe? Very unlikely, but we know that in Ras Kamboni, hundreds of Somalia's Gorgo troops were deployed yesterday. Jubaland rejected the deployment, saying it could lead to start of fighting. It also mobilized its regional forces towards Ras Kamboni. In some other parts of Jubaland, too, federal forces arriving reportedly. I'll do a video on that after a few hours. So far, Mogadishu and Kismayo are on a collision course. Arrest warrants issued. What will Ethiopian troops what will Ethiopian troops do? Have they done their job? Did they just want to back Madobe till election, or will they stay in Jubaland to support Madobe? That remains to be seen. Thank you for watching.